And we are live, everyone. Welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to experience and see how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a microphone, a stage, an ecosystem formation environment. We can make more money with less time, with more magic, and all because Sean has been curating this amazing formula that will bring that all into our lives for the past 23 years. And now Sean...
But wait, more importantly, it's Trajectory Tuesday, and Vivian has a new agent. Congratulations on your new agentness.
Thank you.
Come back to me later, Vivian. But much more importantly, this is about you today. Congratulations, because you are a rock star amongst rock stars.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I guess we're going to go right to it. A lot of people say they have to go at the top of the hour. So we have changed a few things around. We have Alan Berg is going to sit as a judge today. And we have Suzanne McGee that decided to become a contestant. And for the past decade, Susan is the owner of Nirvana Wellness, a cellular regeneration center in Huntington Beach, California. And she believes that light heals the body and can rejuvenate by using a holistic approach, incorporating modern technologies, natural medicine, and century-old essential oils. And she takes pride in bringing much needed hope and light to the community that she loves. So welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And do you go by Suzanne or Susan?
Suzanne, for sure.
Suzanne, awesome. Okay, thank you, Suzanne, and welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And how about a fun fact, Suzanne?
I am the matriarch of a large family. We have 6 children and 22 grandchildren.
Woo!
That is a party. And do you often all get together?
We often get together, and I rollerblade with most of them. Anybody with some rollerblades, we rollerblade against the ocean, right along the ocean.
Welcome, Suzanne, the rollerblading mom of 6, grandma of 22, and rock star in the world of wellness. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Vivian, but we have more.
Yes, we have Yvonne Abdi. She's a metabolic coach, and she works with getting your body composition in check. She's also the owner of Muscle Fuse Protein, a very clean protein for fat loss and muscle retention, and she's located in Orange County. So welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yvonne, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. And what's a fun fact, please, Yvonne?
You know, I would probably say that I'm a artist. I like to draw.
Very cool. And what are your favorite things to draw?
Motion and movement and horses.
Very, very nice. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for being here. And what part of California are you from?
I'm from Huntington Beach,
Huntington
not
Beach.
too far from Suzanne.
Huntington Beach is in the house. Thank you. So Yvonne, Suzanne, Huntington Beach, square off for fun and love and connection and growth on The Real Raw. And we have some judges, Vivian.
Yes, we do. We have Alan Berg, who didn't know what was going on. Fernando just yanked him in here, and he was like, wait, what? So Alan has been for the past 25 years in the business of consulting, sales training, and an in-demand professional speaker, domestically and internationally, even places like Dubai and India. Some say he's the leading international speaker and expert on the business of weddings and events. He presented in 14 countries, 5 of them in Espanol, which he taught himself. And he's the wedding and event industry's only certified speaking professional, one of only 36 in Global Speaking Fellows. He's also published a few magazines and is the author of 5 books. Welcome, Alan.
Whoa, Alan, you've been busy, my friend.
I have been busy. I just released 2 special editions of one of my books, so we're rocking. Book number 6 is in the works.
That's fantastic. And where are you coming from today?
Jersey.
The great state of New Jersey.
Central New Jersey, just outside of Princeton.
Love it. I'm sitting in Long Beach Island, so we are not too terribly far apart. So
yeah, as the crow flies, not far. Just can't get there from here, right?
Yes, absolutely. Turnpikes and parkways and Route 9 and Bruce Springsteen songs and Born to Run and all of those things. Welcome, Alan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And a fun fact, though, please, sir, besides all those incredible things about you.
In addition to my books hanging on the wall, over on that side would be my second-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Nice. Dude, this is a Renaissance, eclectic, like complete human in all kinds of ways. Alan, welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
How fun. This is such an eclectic group. Ahava Goldman. She is here wearing orange. Whoop, loving it. The ultimate relationship expert and has researched over 100 men to become certified by, you're going to enjoy this, Sean, Allison Armstrong.
Mm,
For the past 3 years, she's a coach for Landmark as well. And she will tell you about what she has survived. She has a very interesting life story. So welcome, Ahava.
I do have a very interesting life story, but none of that is true about me. I am a CPA. I work.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, this was not Fun Friday. That's supposed to happen on Fun Friday or April Fool's Day.
Well,
So,
hey, I can be whoever you want me to be. I mean,
it's the Real Raw role play, but okay.
But yeah, no,
you
I
could
have
role
not
play
even.
being this
Fun
person.
fact about me: I have not even gone out with dated 100 men, although I know 100 men.
This is wonderful. I'm so sorry. This is what I got as a bio, and I tweaked it, and I.
That is amazing. That's
fine.
Let's take it from the top.
Yes, exactly.
By the way,
Tell us about you, Ahava.
This is approximately our 110th Real Raw, and we have never had a bio mishap before. So like we have our first there's wardrobe malfunctions at the Super Bowl, Vivian, and there's bio malfunctions and the Real Raw. So Ahava, our sincerest apologies and please share your amazingness.
I don't know if I can make myself sound as amazing as Vivian could. I'm a CPA. I work at the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. I'm an associate director on the Audit and Test Standards team. And what our team does is support the Auditing Standards Board that sets standards CPAs use when auditing non-public entities. And before I was with the Auditing Standards team, I worked on the Uniform CPA exam. So I wrote the questions that CPAs have to answer when they take the test.
Wow. So Vivian, I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds pretty cool.
I don't either, but it sounds super impressive to me.
Yes. No, I will drop, and it's Ahava, correct?
It's Ahava.
Yeah, Ahava. I'm joking. I actually didn't do any of those types of things, but I did get an A+ in accounting for lawyers in law school. That is a true statement. And I do have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts. So I do understand what Ahava is talking about. It's just a lot of fun that we have here. And that those are, for those that are not in the professional space, those are ridiculous credentials. That's like the person who wrote the test of the test to make people be whatever profession we're talking about. So that's extraordinary, Ahava. And thank you so much for being here.
Yay. Thanks for joining us. Oh, do we have a fun fact about you?
I didn't give you enough fun facts. Well, I am also from New Jersey, but I'm from the north part of New Jersey.
Oh, what part?
I'm in West Orange, and the Orange, but I was born in the Bronx.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's very close to me. I'm in New Rochelle.
Not far. So thank you, Ahava.
So we have Vered Kadosh, a financial professional at World Financial Group, helping families and businesses build a solid financial foundation because she believes if you can, you must. She's also the owner of Kadosh Financial, and she owns her own agency, which is that, where she recruits, trains, and mentors apprentices, new agents to have financial freedom. So welcome, Vered.
Hi, how are you, Vivian?
Good, thank you.
Welcome. How are you, Vered? Where are you coming from today?
Today I'm at my parents' house in Vegas.
Ooh, so we have Huntington Beach, Vegas, Jersey. We're covering the nation and some of its most intriguing spots. So cool. And what is a fun fact other than the fact that you're coming from Las Vegas?
Wow. Fun fact. I was in charge of the mice room in my high school.
That is very fun fact. And is the mice room the science dissection room or where mice
No.
are gathering and bad things happening to them?
Yeah. Well, some of them were considered pets. Some of them were considered food for the snakes.
Oh, that would not be a fun room to be in if you're a mouse.
Yeah, that was not my days. No.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we're going to drop right in a moment. But wait, there's more. We have a role player, right?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody?
Yes, we have Stacy Wallace in the house. Woo! Looking radiant, wearing red, founder and CEO of the Empowered Network. Very empowered color. We know this now, right, Sean? After we had Anissa Acker on the show, telling us how red is the color of take charge. Yes. Creator of numerous corporate sales programs and the CEO of Empower You Publishing. She's a keynote speaker for over 30 years on stages along Zig Ziglar and 5 U.S. presidents. She's the author of 8 books, including Mission Possible, Unlocking Your Full Potential, Smart Money, A Woman's Guide to Financial Freedom, and The Ultimate Body Makeover, 90-Day Life and Body Transformation. Plus, she has rolled out, check this, Sean, 5 music CDs. Welcome, Stacy.
Whoa.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's always crazy to hear the ego side of what you've accomplished. It's wow.
Crazy stuff, right? And Stacy happens to also be the mom of a young man that was one of the most impressive and most accelerated people in the world of integrity-based selling that I've ever encountered, and utterly mind-blowingly impressive. So, whose name is you? So, thank you, Stacy. And what's a quick fun fact?
Oh, there's so many. Every time I come on here, I'll give you something different, and I'll give you 50 years worth. So today, I'll give you the fun fact that I'm a black belt in karate, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and taekwondo.
So here's the question then. Do you think you could whoop up on like Alan since he's in taekwondo and you're in karate? Like, what's the square off between karate and taekwondo from the karate side of life?
I definitely think I can take him.
Alan,
no, I'm just kidding. No,
Alan, do you mind if we pivoted the real raw today into verbal sparring, but into like physical sparring?
I hear it. I hear it.
Actually, it is martial arts that gave me the mindset, skill set, and the ability to focus through 2 natural childbirths and be able to raise what I believe is the greatest asset of my life is the next generation. So martial arts really created a foundation for me to be able to have the focus and the systematic thinking. I'm a very right brain creator, but a very left brain systematic thinker as it relates to progress and development. So
I will second that. No question. I started Taekwondo at 39. How old were you when you started martial arts?
I was about 27 when I started.
Yeah, I was 39. So much later. I was not in it it wasn't about fighting. The mental aspect was really what it was. And I stopped. He's already
putting down a disclaimer, Sean. Yeah. He's already saying that she's going to beat him because he started later.
No, what I was going to say is I stopped at 46 because I had 2 bulging discs in my back, so I would bow out of the fight no matter what. But I was 6 months from a 3rd degree black belt at that time. I was like, you know what?
Hey, that's mad respect right there. That's legit. That's
awesome. I got what I needed up here. I didn't need to prove anything else physically at that point.
Alan, awesome, dude. Like, we have a ton of fun, and like that's what we're here to do as we unlock the superpower of influence. But I'll drop in my quick fun fact. Fun fact is that I started taking Taekwondo when I was 7, and I took it for 3 years at that point, and then I took a break, and then I went back at 19, and then actually no, I went back at 20, and that season was my junior season of college baseball, and my sophomore year, I had played myself midway through the year out of the starting lineup at Columbia University. And my junior year, when I went back to Taekwondo, and everybody told me I was crazy. So I'm at Columbia, full-time student. I had a job. I was a starting player in a Division I baseball team there, and now I'm taking Taekwondo. That season, with 9 games to go in my junior year, I was in the top 10 hitters Division I in the nation. So I second Alan or third Alan and Stacy commentary about martial arts and the incredible ability to focus. I would attribute significant portions of the success of that junior season to the mental aspects of Taekwondo. So yes.
If you want to be present, do martial arts, because if you're not being present, you get hit.
Yes.
So if you're thinking I need to send that email, you're going to get hit. And you only have to get hit so many times where you go, you know what, I shouldn't be thinking about anything but what's in front of me right now.
Alan, would we be able to borrow that for a tagline for the Real Raw? Real Raw, be present or you will get hit. That's amazing.
So my gift to you. There you go. Be present or get hit.
Okay. So now that we're done with the fun beginnings, Vivian, amazing. Thank you. Mwah. You're amazing. So yeah, what are we doing here? So hi, my name is Sean Callaghy. Some of you know, some of you don't. The quick nanosecond version is I've been studying human influence for 23 years. I had no idea how much it mattered and didn't realize how much it had impacted my life until I came out of law school and realized I was working a job that I didn't want, even though it was my dream job coming out of law school, and realized the people who had so much more influence impact, control over their life were people who had this superpower. And I'm like, I need to acquire it. But then I realized that many people acquire it and don't have the mechanics, the science behind like what to do with it. So that became the study of my life. I quit my job. I built a 40-person law firm in 2 years coming out of law school. Ivana may or Hava, excuse me, may have some optics on that. And she can tell me if she's heard of an attorney 6 months out of law school, starting a law firm, building a 40-person firm. That's not about me. It's about, there's a formula and a science of how we go about building those things. That's led to me selling that first firm, exiting. I currently own a 125-person law firm in 5 states. I've done Blind Date Movement, our first event as a launch. A lot of people be happy if they would have a first event and have 20 or 30 people show up. We had 1,500 people show up in the Meadowlands Exposition Center in New Jersey. I've had the unique privilege of receiving a call from the Tony Robbins team yesterday. It'll be my 6th time, or 7th actually, speaking at their events. I'll be speaking at Business Mastery this weekend. So I just share that to say, and I have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts as one of only 2 attorneys in America between 2014 and 16 to have 2 top 100 verdicts. And I'm the only one who did it blind. I am legally blind, can't see anything on the screen. I also am on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind, standing in the gap to say that people who are blind can be fun, happy, energized, magical, maybe even a little bit cool and crazy, and making things happen in the world. So all of that is what we're unlocking here, like what to do with that. And I just share that quick bio background. So it's like, I'm not some, Yahoo who has no idea about influence and read a book and now talks about it. This has been the study of my life for 23 years. So thank you for that. It is time to drop in. Stacy, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. Yvonne, we'd have to look at a map, we need laser guidance to determine whether Yvonne or Suzanne was from closer. So let's just pick and go, Yvonne, I have a 1 or a 2 under the table. What do you think it is?
A 2.
It is a 1. So Suzanne, you win the toss. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll do first.
Okay. All right. Suzanne's going first. And what we're up to, judges, is we have two rounds, 1 conversation. The first round, here's what they don't have to do. They don't have to get to a yes. They don't have to convey their heroic, unique identity, anything magical about themselves. It's about assessing the depth of connection, opening up Stacy's listening. So that's what we're assessing in round 1. Plus, did they put something at stake? Did they find some pain point, some issue, something that matters to Stacy in round 1? In round 2, that's when they're going to get into who they are, what they're up to in the world, how they solve that pain point, and move on to a yes. This doesn't have to be a sale. This doesn't have to be about money, but it could be. This could be the sale of a product or service. It could be the creation of a strategic alliance. This could be the booking of a speaking engagement. This could be a book deal, movie deal. It could be contributing to a charity. It could be getting booked to speak on stage. Any yes in the world that matters to these fine folks. Suzanne, going first, and then Yvonne. So Suzanne, who would you like Stacy to be, including potentially herself?
A client, a longtime client that we've had here at the center who values my opinion on wellness.
Very, very cool. Okay. So Stacy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We will hear a buzzer with 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, and then stop, right? It's not a hard stop. I'll say 10 more seconds. But please, Suzanne, take us in.
Hi, Stacy. Wow, it's so good to talk to you again. It's been a long time. How are you?
I'm great, Suzanne. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm checking with all of my clients because I wanted to see how things were going for them during this, quote, lockdown area that we're involved in. And so how's your health? What are some things that you're concerned about?
My health has been great. I've been getting a lot of rest and had a really high peace factor. So I don't really have any ailments in my body.
That's great. What about the stress? A lot of our clients are feeling the stress of uncertainty that exists in the world now. And how are you feeling about that?
Again, I'm operating at about a 10 on the peace zone because I have these life hacks of fishing that I do regularly. And so on a level of peace, I'm really good. I would say that I've got a lot going on though at work. I'm running a pretty large international telecom company. So I've got a lot of international partners and have a lot of expectations right now.
Well, that sounds like a lot of responsibility. Well, I'm calling and telling all of our clients that I finally found something that I think is easy, effective, and economical, and reduces the stress level and upregulates our happiness level. What do you know about stem cells?
I got some.
Great, that's good. What, did you get them as an injection?
Oh, I don't really have stem cells, so then I know nothing. I thought I had them in my body.
Oh, yes, you do have stem cells.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I got what I got.
But you know, they wear out. And after a certain age, at mid-40s, we stop producing the volume that we once produced when we were young. And when we get to about 55, we don't produce them at all. So it's difficult. And I found something that activates your own body stem cells by acting and increasing, upregulating them. What do you think about that?
What does it increase and regulate?
It upregulates your stem cells so you get a response from you sleep better, you have less stress, you increase your energy, you have increased skin that looks just beautiful.
So what is a stem cell?
Well, it's what our whole body is made up of. And I know there's a lot of facets on it, but I have a wonderful presentation that I'd like to send you. And if you look at that and find yourself interested, I would love to sample and send you some that you can try yourself. What do you think about that?
Sure, I'll take a look at the video.
Okay.
Is it long?
No, it's 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course, for you, Suzanne. I'd love to watch a 5-minute video.
Your address is still the same?
Yes, it is actually.
All right, I'll get those sent out, and then let's look at a time when I can give you a call back. I'll check with you by text to make sure that you got them, and then let's have you stop in by the center, or I can mail them to you, and you can then effectively see how this works for your body.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Okay, thank you. Look forward to seeing you again.
All right, Suzanne, how'd that feel for you?
Great.
Okay. And Stacy, if you had one word to say how that felt, that connection felt, what would your one word feeling be?
I don't think she knows me yet.
Okay. So got it. Excellent. And we will drop in Yvonne. Who would you like Stacy to be?
I would love Stacy to be a gym owner.
All right. So ready? You're a gym owner, and fire away, Yvonne.
Hi, Stacy. How are you doing?
Girl, I'm crushing it. Of course.
Good. Even with these COVID times, you're doing okay?
Oh, we're unbelievable right now. Like, it's like your numbers are astronomical. Like the gym, I mean, the doors are shut, but you know us, we always bounce back.
That's very cool. You know, I heard a couple gym owners are moving everything right outside so that they can keep their clients in the fresh air and keep their gym going. What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome. It's epic. It's like, you know, we have just this mindset that everything, you know, even if you can't work out, you can work out. I've got ladies, they're vacuuming with passion. They're lifting milk jugs with passion. They are like I mean, it's just like there's exercise everywhere, right? And like, I just can't get enough of it. I mean, like, you know, authenticity. I think that, you know, having the doors shut has been tough, but, you know, pick up a jug of milk and let her rip.
That's awesome. I could just tell from your energy that it's exuding onto your clients and you're probably helping them in so many ways. It's really, really a positive story to hear during these times. That being the case, have you thought about offering a really clean supplement with protein to help them retain their gains and their muscle retention and lose some fat?
Well, you know, we used to have the Shake Shack inside of the gym, and we had a protein supplement that we were using. That company actually just went out of business though because of not being able to service their clients, and they had some issues on the inside of their actual formulation. So yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit. What do you got?
I have a really clean whey isolate. It's 100%. So it has the highest bioavailability. And other gym owners are using it, serving it up with some coffee, serving it up with some water. And they're getting great results. Not only are their clients retaining their results and losing fat, but gym owners are able to use it as another form of income to help them supplement it just kind of goes hand in hand with the exercise and fueling the body.
So is this like a network marketing business, like an MLM business?
You know, it isn't. In fact, because it isn't, you actually make 40% profit. So you can buy at wholesale in minimum quantities, and I can go ahead and have you try it out. You could try it out, maybe even sample it out with your clients, see what they think. I'd love any feedback I can get. I actually created it myself because I could not find a really clean protein without sugar or chemical sweeteners. So making this protein was my little baby, but it cost me a little bit, but I know that people are going to get the best results from it because it has the highest bioavailability. I can show you all the benefits. It helps even with like depression because it feeds the cells at a cellular level like no other.
Yeah, I'd love to try it. It sounds, yeah, we're always looking for ways to obviously bring in more income with the doors being closed, and you kind of hit something is that right now I'm looking into ClickFunnels and I need a product to sell that'll actually blend with what I'm doing with the gym. So that could be a fit. I'd like to learn more.
Absolutely. I'll give you some samples, and I'd love any feedback that your clients have and any ways that we can kind of help them in any which way, including smoothie recipes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So Stacy's gotta grab a call. She'll be right back. Excellent. So how did that feel for you, Yvonne?
It felt really natural. I mean, Stacy has amazing energy, and you know, a lot of gym owners have that about them because they're into fitness, so they've got those endorphins. I felt like Stacy she did a great job.
Yes.
You did a great job.
And Stacy, I want to say how that felt with Yvonne. How'd that feel?
Well, Yvonne, obviously I threw a counter. That's not my personality, but I threw it at you because that is a lot of the personality of the gym owners that I know, and everything's always great, even if their doors are shut, and they're going to hype it up. But what you did really good is you went straight to what even though I acted like everything was great, you went straight to a pain point, money, and a product that I could possibly monetize in my shift. So that was very good. And I think that our next conversation will be great too.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. So let's take it to the judges. And again, thank you, Yvonne and Suzanne, for your courage, your vulnerability today. And remembering, we're not judging Yvonne and we're not judging Suzanne. We're assessing how that interaction went in the opening of listening, rapport, putting something at stake. Alan, you're gonna hear a buzzer after about 35 seconds and 5 more seconds if you can give a score on a scale of 1 to 10. And during this feedback section, maybe the first 15, 20 seconds, a couple of bullets on what went well. And then the second 15, 20 seconds, a couple of bullets on what was a potential optimization. And let's start it with Suzanne. What do you have, Alan?
So I thought you did well. What I would like to see is you kept saying, I'm calling all of our clients. I'm contacting all of our clients. People don't care about everybody else. They care about themselves. I'm calling you today about this. People want the results of what you are going to do for them. So it's not that I'm calling all of my clients. I'm calling you today because of this. You also said, what do you think about that a few times? I think you should mix up the questions. So it's not the same question. Actually, you both use that same question. What do you think about that? An ambiguous question gets you an ambiguous answer. So maybe lead them into that a little bit differently. But you also, in the beginning, you said you're doing really well not influencing her answer. But then you said, you know, a lot of our clients are feeling uncertainty. Are you feeling that? You want to get a better answer from her. It's, what are you feeling? How are you feeling? You know, lead her to tell you what she's feeling instead of, are you feeling this? Because you're going to get an answer, yes or no, to that, as opposed to what she might have been feeling. Now you've influenced the. So our lawyer here, is she leading the witness? Is that the?
Yeah. And I would say I agree completely that when we're asking, we talk about asking open-ended questions versus closed-ended. Because if you get a no, Suzanne got a couple of no's, and you get a no, and it's like a report is short. It's like, hey, so do you want to, like, how you're not feeling that healthy, right? She didn't say that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling really healthy. Like, oh, well, you really want to feel healthier, right? No, I feel great. You know, like, it's like, whoa. So, you know, yeah.
Right.
So you have first score, Alan, for Suzanne.
So we're doing 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Is that?
Yes.
I'll give you like a 6.
Okay. What do you have for Yvonne?
Okay. So for Yvonne, again, you use that same question. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Suzanne, you did a really good job not saying Yvonne, I heard you say a bunch of times. Everybody does it. The more you do it, the more they're going to notice it. So if you can record yourself, where'd she go?
Sorry, I got
there
a
you are.
call.
Okay.
I got a call.
Like, where she disappeared. She didn't like what I was saying. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. I love feedback.
Again, maybe gym owners would know this, but bioavailability and clean protein and stuff, I didn't know what that was. If your audience knows what that stuff is, then those phrases are fine. If they're not, if not everybody would know that, you have the curse of knowledge, you know what that stuff is, they don't. Great results, things, again, it was a lot of ambiguous stuff. You eventually got around to explaining what those results were for her customers. If her customers benefit and then she makes money working backwards, then it's good for you. But great results is ambiguous. So let's talk about what those kind of results are and why that's going to make her customers go, oh, I need this. And then she's going to make money and then you're going to make money, working it back into that. So
what'd you have for a score, Alan?
I'm gonna go with 5 right now, right? Yeah. But I think if you do some of those things, it's kind of flipping it. You got to it at the end, you get to it sooner.
Awesome.
Okay.
You weren't even going to stay in this call, and you gave really good advice, by the way. So I'm glad you stayed.
Well, but this is what I do for a living. I'm a consultant, so I'm not used to being on the other side of that. So.
You did great at giving. These are things I never caught about myself. So I love feedback.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent, Alan. Hava.
Well, I agree. Actually, I had a lot of the same points that Alan did, although not in as much detail. For both contestants, can I deal with both, or do I have to address one specifically?
You could do both. You have about a minute and a half total to give feedback for both. So whichever.
Okay. So with this, not the first time I'm doing this, I'm not sure. So for both, for Suzanne, I expected you to ask more questions to build the connection. I thought Stacy's comment about you didn't get to know me was exactly right. It may be that it felt like you assumed you were closer to her than maybe she felt. So I 100% agree with the open-ended questions, but also just people love to talk about themselves, and you did not give her enough time to talk about herself. So that was my...
John, can I make a comment about that? When I started out, I said this would be a long-time client that I've had and I'm connected with. So I already knew a lot about her, family, everything.
Yeah, but I didn't get but then you didn't ask the questions like, so how's the family? How's your kid? There weren't any questions, and maybe it was just in the role-playing part of it that you jumped over it, but you didn't build on that knowledge. So you didn't, there was nothing that said, I know about your life and I'm asking about, and I remember something special about you and I'm bringing it up.
Yeah. So Hava, what did you have for scores for Yvonne and for Suzanne?
I had a 6 for Yvonne, for Suzanne, and a 7 for Yvonne, because even though I also thought Yvonne did not do as much asking the open-ended questions about how are you, I thought she had a better connection, but that might just be Stacy's energy I was responding to.
Got it. Okay.
That's the 3 Red Bulls Stacy had before she got on the phone.
And for Red, what did you have for, let's start with either or both of Yvonne and Suzanne.
Sure. So I'll start with Suzanne. Suzanne, I really like the way that you the beginning of the conversation, you started by setting your intention for the call. when you told her that you're asking to check up and see how she's doing. So I really like that. And I also liked how at the end of the call, you took control and you explained to her what is going to happen. What is the process? I'm going to mail it to you. Is your address still the same? And you kind of wrapped it up nicely. So I really like that. I do agree that you need to ask a lot more open-ended questions. And even if you already know the answers, just to give them that time, that stage time to talk about themselves a little bit. I feel like it takes a lot off the pressure, like a lot pressure. And I also liked how you edified yourself. I liked how you edified yourself when you explained to her that you're doing it for a long time and this is your product and this is what it's doing and you're helping a lot of people with it. So I like that ownership. So I'm giving you a 7.
Okay. And for Yvonne?
For Yvonne, I also liked how you edified yourself when you said that this is something that you created. This is your baby. So I really love that. Instead of telling her that, to asking her, have you thought about this and that? I would suggest that you might want to tell a story. Like imagine that, this and that, and then you're kind of taking her on a journey with you. Her energy was very, very high. So at the beginning, when you started the conversation, you were you, and then she gave you that high energy. I suggest that you try to mimic that, not all the way up to her level, but take it up a notch. If somebody's that high energy, you want to meet them in the middle somewhere. And also, I felt like I liked how you took control and explained the process towards the end as well. When you explained this is your product, you created it, and you know what it does. So that was beautiful. And the last thing I had was that I liked how you disturbed and you gave a solution, even though it seemed like everything was fine. You still disturbed, you did not give up. So I'm giving you an 8.
Excellent. So thank you, judges. That was extensive and deep feedback. I'm gonna drop in for 1 second. And I know we are tight on time, but I'm gonna share a brief point and then do a model of it. So takeaways for today, right? First 2/3 of conversation is opening, listening, putting at stake. The bottom third of conversation is how we solve the problems. If we're not Charlie Brown's teacher and the students aren't hearing want, 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 then information is being conveyed by how we listen. The depth of connection, Oprah Winfrey said, she held a microphone for 30,000 people because she said, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. The influencing components of who we are at step 3 and 4 of our Load Yes approach have very little to do with us as what we say, as much as how we are perceived through how we listen and we put at stake in the first section. And so we're not crossing this boundary line into who we are and what the agreement formation is. And that's why we do 2 different rounds until we create a depth of connection, truly put something at stake. So I just want to play with that for a second. Again, Suzanne and Yvonne did a fantastic job. Thank you for the courage and vulnerability. But Suzanne, let's just, actually, I'll be you with Stacy for a second, right? And you can be assessing. So, hey, Stacy, thanks so much for having a conversation today. I really appreciate it. How are you? Yeah. How are you doing with everything that's happening with Corona?
You know what? We've been really, man, it's been some of the best days of our life, actually. We were prepped for it before ever going into Corona. We started detaching from a lot of systems that we, like the healthcare system and just all the things that we were dependent on. So we were kind of teed up for this season to have peace, bought an RV. We've been on the road fishing and wow. It's been a pretty amazing time.
Yeah. Stacy, I just want to acknowledge that you and your family are one of the most intentional families that I've ever worked with. Like just the way you speak, like detached, and we were in an RV from the healthcare system. Like, where does all this intentionality come from?
I think I had an awakening that I lived most of my life attached to performance and high level performance in athletics, martial arts.
From Google Chrome.
Google Chrome. And when I had a great encounter of some pretty epic roadblocks that I hit that I was in the peak of my career when I decided that money wasn't enough. I wanted to live with intentionality. I wanted to live a life of service. And it was my pivot away from high stress, high pressure, high performance into truly seeking a transcendence, a oneness, a peace that passes all understanding. And I've never been happier. I've never been more at peace.
I know we only have like a minute to go. I see you had such a narrow time frame. I just want to acknowledge that that's extraordinary. And 99.99% of humans that I encounter don't come within like 100 miles of your peace, your wisdom, and just how like you show up in the world as a change agent and contributor. So thank you for that.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what makes me want to connect with people like you.
Well, thank you.
I see that in you as well.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And you know, as I run my health and wellness business here in Huntington, California, you know, I often ask people, and you seem like you're in incredible physical condition, things are going great. You know, what are your intentions about your longevity, your health, your vitality? Like, what is it that you're committed to in that space?
Actually, I'm actually looking for a product line that I can champion. I was the senior vice president of a nutrition company, and I actually was involved in formulations of over 100 products. And I'm right now in a space right now that I want to innovate in that industry in the areas of faith, family, finance, fitness, and freedom. And I'm looking for products to partner with today that we can do that with.
Yeah. So can I just share for the last 20 seconds we have just a thing about myself and ask you one final question? Yeah. So again, thank you. My name is Suzanne, right? And I am committed, as you're aware, to longevity, health, vitality. And I think, and I don't think, I'm certain, Stacy, that there is a fundamental misunderstanding of the way our bodies work and the speed at which technology has solved for some of the dynamics of aging. And I would love it. Well, I think we would both love it, quite frankly, if you gave me the opportunity and yourself the opportunity to spend a half an hour with all of your intentionality in a conversation about what that might look like for yourself, your family, for this business line, in the space of stem cell and some of the things that we do. Would you grant me the incredible honor of spending a half an hour chatting about this?
Absolutely. I love it. It sounds great.
Okay, pause. Suzanne, how did that feel for you?
That was great. And that seemed very much delving down into what her needs were.
Yeah. So really quickly, and I know we're running late, but I want to be in service because, and again, by the way, this doesn't mean that everybody here is not totally amazing and crushing it in the world, but this is the difference between somebody selling, 30 units of $100,000 product from stage and 120, which I've had the privilege to do in 7 minutes. This is the difference between jury verdict consultants that we paid $250,000 saying we'd be lucky to get $1 million a trial and getting 27 million and 33 million in 2 different cases that they told us that. So zero ego attached. I'm delivering speed and certainty. What we did, right? What happened with Stacy? And Stacy, like honest assessment, how did that feel for you, our encounter?
Well, great, because I was actually not role playing with you because I was waiting for someone to hit what WIFM, what's in it for me, right? What's my pain point? And you were able to identify that through connection.
Yeah. And Stacy took us there. It was like, I'm committed to intentionality. I'm committed to this amazing life. I'm committed. Okay. So then of course, I'm like joking now, right? Well, then of course you're going to want stem cells because it's going to make you healthier, younger, more energized. Like, so of course you do. So Stacy committed to her entire life purpose, which wraps around something. And I talked for about 10 seconds about the product, the service at step 3, setting up a beautiful additional integrous value exchange in a future conversation, because this fits perfectly in. So Suzanne, this is recorded. And again, this is my offer of value. I assure you that at stakeness and the aspirational energy where that's going would sit in that person's heart and soul, because that is who most people are. They're just so confused and stressed. And like, as Alan so beautifully said, they're like, as they're getting punched in the face, reading emails, like it's bringing them present to who they are and what's at stake and how you can solve for that. Does that make sense, Suzanne?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, awesome. All right. So for the sake of time, let's roll forward. Round two, this round, Suzanne, you're going to be going first. And this is, again, 3-minute encounter. You're now stepping into who you are, what's happening, the yes that you're seeking, and please take us away. It's just a continuation of the first conversation. Okay. So Suzanne, Stacy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You went a little bit. I turned it down a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So you're just continuing in the original conversation, getting to whatever yes that you're seeking.
With Stacy, right?
Yes, it's Stacy. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Ring. Stacy. Hi. Do you have a minute?
Hey, Suzanne. Yeah, it was great talking to you earlier. Sorry I had to bounce off. I had, like a ton of stuff going on, but I'm so glad we got to reconnect.
Well, it was, thank you. Thank you for taking time to answer again. Our lives are very busy, and it's often challenging to have time to just be able to create that space that we can talk. I'm wondering if you might be able to have a time that is about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, so that I can talk to you about the value of stem cells and how that might work for you in your life. I know you are so committed to everything you do. I've watched you, and when you make a promise to yourself, you fulfill it. I admire that so much. You're a very small part of the population. So I'm wondering, in the next week, is there a time that you'd have a 30-minute block that we could just talk?
This week is really busy, Suzanne. Explain to me again what it is we're going to be talking about.
Talking to see if there's some intention that you might add to increase what you're already doing to have that life of fulfillment and wellness. And what would that feel like to you, to increase even more?
Yeah, well, why don't you send me some information and let me look it over, and I will, I commit to you that I'll look it over and I'll send you some feedback. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds great. When can I get back to you on that?
Yes, keep going, Suzanne. Don't give up.
Okay, all right. So on Friday, that's usually a lighter day. I think you told me that one time. And if it still is, then I'll give you a call back on Friday and see when we might be able to schedule that time.
Great. Send me the stuff, and then Friday we'll connect, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent, Suzanne. Appreciate it. Suzanne, how'd that feel for you?
It felt good. Maybe it's something that I said, but the first time I felt like she was very rushed, like even some of my thoughts could not flow because I felt rushed by her, like hurry, I've got to go. This time it was different.
Yeah. And when we're feeling that, we can lean in and confront. It's like, wow, it seems like you're really tied up today. Would it be a better time to talk some other time? I don't want to, so you can lean right into it. And sometimes people are so stressed that it brings them back present. It's like, it's okay. Yes, Yvonne, 3 minutes and continuation.
I have my client waiting though, and and it's a 1 o'clock client, and it's 1 now.
Oh, please. Absolutely feel free to jump and just thank you. We don't want to keep you and your client waiting.
I really wanted to do this part. So sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry. So I'm sorry we got started late today. So really appreciate you being here and
no worries. I really appreciate all this.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Bye, Yvonne. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
Also have a hard
you.
stop,
Bye-bye.
so I'm going to be dropping off also. This has been fascinating.
Okay, who is this? I'm sorry?
This is Ahava.
Okay, I can't see. Ahava, thank you so much for being here. And how was today for you?
It was fascinating. It was very, very interesting.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so let's go. Alan, would you mind giving some feedback to, just on this round to Suzanne? And yeah.
Sorry, there we go. Turn the microphone off.
Okay.
You appeared to be a little flustered because Stacy was pushing back on you and you appeared to be a little bit flustered. So, Sean's talking about leaning in and you felt like you were leaning away. You weren't leaning into it. The idea was to try to get to a yes. And the thing is, what is the yes that you're looking for? If you have a clear goal in mind, and just keep this phrase in mind, ambiguous next steps get ambiguous results. So what are you asking for her to do? And the more specific of the ask, the better. But I'm going to send you, she puts you off with can you send me something? That's the typical, hey, go away. I don't want to talk to you right now. And we hear it all the time, right? People say, can you send me something? A good retort to that would be, absolutely. What is it that you wouldn't want to see that would help you understand the value of this? So it's turning it back into a question again, instead of just accepting, hey, go away, send me something, and then you're going to have to keep following up and following up. So try to, again, get a more specific answer to that instead of send me. Personally, I go to my customers and tell them I'm breaking your attachment button. I'm not letting you send anything to anybody. You have to have the conversation. You have to talk to them. You have to ask them better questions, because the document isn't going to sell what you do. You're going to sell it. You're going to hear her. You're going to hear what she needs, and you're going to help her get the results that she wants. So don't accept the brush off. Like Sean said, lean into the brush off by asking another question and try to get to that. And one more thing, if you are going to try to set a next step, don't say what's good for you. Always make a suggestion of two, whether it's a day, a time, is it morning or afternoon? Is it Tuesday at 4, Thursday at 3? Is it during the week or on the weekend? A choice of two, because you'll get somebody to an answer quicker than if you leave it open to, hey, anytime, any day is good. No. So Friday at 2 o'clock, is that good? Or would 3 o'clock be better?
Excellent.
And then it gets them to an answer quicker.
And what'd you have for a score, Alan?
Again, you felt like you were more on the defensive and more, what did I say in the beginning? I forget the word I used. So I'm gonna stick with my 6 on you there. I think you can do better than that. I think you know your product really well. You just have to turn it around to her and get to the result that she wants and help her get that, and be a little bit more assertive, not aggressive. Although there's a kind of fine line between assertive and aggressive. Those of us from the New York area, right? We take a little more than people in other areas.
Yeah. Alan, awesome feedback. And I want to acknowledge, and I'm going to say the same thing about Brett, the depth. I know that you have genius and mastery in the space, and the depth and precision of your feedback is like top 1%, of what we had on here. And it was awesome and a pleasure. So how was it today for you? Oh,
again, not knowing what I was stepping into, it was a lot of fun. Again, this is what I do for a living. I love working without a net. That's the beauty to me of consulting, is you just never know what the next person needs, and helping them find that and get to that is just, for me, is fun. So I'm glad I didn't bounce, because in the beginning I was thinking almost like I got blindsided, no pun intended on, unblinded here. Maybe it was unblindsided. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Unblindsided?
You can make up, I made up the word frictionlessness.
Frictionlessness? Okay, so unblindsided. Unblind. Okay, there you go. Anyway, but no, this is a lot of fun. I love doing this. I hope it helped Suzanne. Please take it, with the intention that it was, which is, we all just want to be better than we were yesterday. And if any of that helped you do that, then I had a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alan. And Fred?
So, Suzanne, I have to acknowledge that I absolutely loved the fact that you did not take anything personally of what Stacy said in the role play. You did, you went ahead with it, and she asked you to send materials. You said, great. It didn't sound for a second as if you felt insulted, and I loved it. I would agree with Alan about the 2 choices. You have to be a lot more definite in order to book an appointment. And I would really like to see more ownership. So even if Stacy is trying to brush you off, or if she's busy right now, then Stacy, that's wonderful. Listen, my schedule is also very booked. I only have a Wednesday or a Friday. Which one works best? The fact that you were extremely available did not feel so good. It felt a little bit needy. And I would suggest that you kind of take it away and present yourself busy, even if your calendar is completely empty. Just say, I'm sorry, I'm very busy. Keep edifying yourself like you did in the first session. I'm very busy. I have a lot of demand of what I do. I really want to help you and work with you. This is the time I have for you.
Excellent. So what'd you have for a score?
I had a 7.
Excellent. And Fred, it is clear that you have a super high level of mastery out there in the world of influence, and this is the space that you operate in. And thank you for your feedback today.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how was today for you?
Oh, it was amazing. Ellen, I have to share with you, last time was my first time on Real Raw, and the same thing exactly happened to me. I thought I was going on a webinar. I didn't even know there would be cameras on. Yeah, so that caught me by surprise. And as we kept talking, I realized I was a contestant. I'm like, oh boy. But it was literally one of the best experiences that I've had. It was so real, just like you call it Real Raw. It was very real. It was very on the spot. I did not feel judged for a second. And I got so much valuable feedback.
Great.
So it was incredible.
Yeah. And I want to acknowledge this. This is about the 110th episode we've done. And so we've been amplifying and doing multiple ones per day and interacting with amazing people like yourselves. But I do want to apologize, because the intention is definitely not that anybody comes here not knowing. So we're finishing materials, videos, actually even animated videos on everything that we're doing, a la like Jurassic Park in the beginning. So people are really, really clear. So, my apologies for, either you guys not knowing.
No need, Sean, because
No,
technically I invited myself last time.
Yeah.
Literally.
And Fernando literally just texted me yesterday, and he's like, and I've been doing so many Zoom calls and so many podcasts and yesterday I did, 7 or 8 of them for a book launch that I did a worldwide virtual book tour. So Fernando's like, hey, you want to come on tomorrow at 3:00 and talk sales for an hour? I was like, cool. And that was all the attention I gave it. So I just thought this was another podcast because that's what I've been doing. But
we will certainly tighten that communication. So again, I really appreciate your patience, and that is definitely not what we're doing. And we've had, amazing people like yourselves, and we've had some of the top speakers in the world on here. People, TV, lawyers, it's been a remarkable grouping. So I think, I'm not quite sure. I think we had a cancellation, and maybe that's how the communication was a little bit sparse. But thank you.
And can I say, Stacy, that was amazing. Your chameleon going back and forth between the different roles there. I did think you were almost going to roid rage in the beginning of Yvonne's. Wasn't quite roid rage, but I was like, gym owner, been there, seen that. Okay, yeah, there you go. That was really good.
And I want to acknowledge Suzanne for your vulnerability, courage. Sitting in that seat is not the easy seat, and what you're doing in the world and helping people realize the ability to completely change the paradigm of how their health functions, how they age, how they just show up in the world energetically. It's extraordinary. And I know everybody's committed to this, but my commitment is to support every single person who comes on here with freeing any friction. That's where we come up with creating additional frictionlessness of sharing the truth and incredible message and work you're doing in the world. So thank you for participating, and thank you for receiving feedback. And you did a great job.
John, may I make a comment quickly?
Please.
This is only my second time I've been on anything. And when Alan said he seemed lost out there because he hadn't received the correct direction. And so I was not prepared at all. Mine just came out clear out of just what I would normally do with a client. Mm-hmm. So the first time felt okay. Then I didn't know you were going to call me back into the scene, because the things that you said, I always do. I always give them a choice of 2 times. I've been doing sales for probably about 50 years, and I always do those things. But being called into, now you're going to go back into Stacy, who was much more intimidating than any of my clients that I talked to. And so I almost wanted to say, I'm glad that you're doing great. I'm really glad. So continue to do that. Have a happy life. Check in with you sometime in a couple of years. That's what it made me feel like. Yeah. Made me feel like that, because it was pretty intense. And Alan's comments, I'm gonna have to work over those, because I thought, wow, you had a lot of comments to say about myself and Yvonne, yet we stepped up and took your place.
Absolutely.
So it kind of, it wasn't, I'm going to need to look at this and rework it, some of this, some of the comments. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah.
Well, again, as a consultant, this is what I do for a living. So this is what I do with my clients all the time. I took myself out of the seat only because I'd not seen this format. So I didn't know what I was expected. Again, had somebody prepped me ahead, like you said, Sean, had I known ahead what I was coming into, what the format, I would have done one of two things, Suzanne. I either would have declined to come or I would have come prepared. That's just what I'm saying. But, not knowing what the format, I would rather be a voyeur on that and then asked what my feedback is. I give honest feedback because I always say, if you don't want to know, don't ask, right?
So can I, and so Suzanne, I honor that. And thank you for speaking your truth and received. And so would it be okay if I shared something from my heart?
I would love that.
Okay. So I discovered 23 years ago that our ability, I had no idea this was reality, that our ability to walk into any situation and to have an optimal skill set of creating like an openness to listening, whether people are nice or harsh or, somewhere in the middle or energized or quiet. And I didn't know how to do any of those things. I sat in my car at Columbia University as a sophomore, as a relatively introverted person. And when I didn't know how to cope and deal with some of the dynamics of some of the older players that were engaged in behaviors I disagreed with. And so I just detached, and I had a really miserable sophomore year of college. 2 years later, I was unanimously selected as the captain of the team. And not though, because I did something so wonderful in my leadership, because the people, the younger players, just were more like me, right? So as I came out of law school and got that first job, I realized I had a very low level of mastery in my ability to walk into a scenario. Like if people were nice, it was great for me. If people were a little more difficult, it was either I was going to fight, right, or I was going to withdraw. So I spent the last 23 years studying these dynamics, and I'll just share this one part. Whatever this means, it means, right? This is my journey. We're all our journey. Several times I've had the ability and handed a microphone on the spot, out of nowhere, or saw the opportunity rise to have a microphone. And I've realized that there is a superpower in a stage and a microphone. It's why Oprah Winfrey, television, infomercials, public speaking presents such an extraordinary opportunity for horror and abuse or for amazingness. Like Adolf Hitler had a stage and a microphone. So did like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King. And so what we're doing here, right, is exploring those dynamics. And so if I connect fully and honor any feeling that you had here today of perhaps harshness, challenging feedback, perhaps not a feeling of empathy, hopefully that wasn't received by me. And if it was, my apologies and my heart to yours. My mission with this, and I mean mission, is to share the opportunity to grab that. And I am no doubt you've been super successful. And most people I encounter though would love to create even more impact and to have more growth and more expansion or more scaling. And so that's what we're here to unlock. And I could share stories all day long, but the reason that I'll have the opportunity to get up on that stage, and that stage, there's no significance attached to it this weekend, virtually, is because of this skill set, which means that I have the privilege and honor of having the opportunity to impact lives through my work. And I'm clear that you are impacting lives through your work. And if there's micro distinctions that make it 40% more likely that people will say yes and give you opportunities to speak and convey what you're doing in the world, that's what I'm trying to support. So again, full empathy, and hopefully that the mission is received.
Thank you. I've received it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say something real quick to Suzanne?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Suzanne, I love your authenticity to say. I was actually a little intimidated by everything seeming so right, and it kind of repelled me to say, well, you don't need my product. And I would say this, then bypass your product and create a friendship. Because every person who is busy, or maybe their life is great, the value might not be in stem cell. The value might be in the connection that you and I innovate a product together, or something together, or a women's organization or something. I don't believe people buy products today. I believe people buy relationships. And so the greatest thing, and you had great empathy, even in the way you tilted your head, your body language, your vocal cadence, is that I really think you would be a great friend for someone like me. And so be okay to let the product go. Be okay to go, you know what, this isn't really a call about product. This is a call about relationship. And that's somebody who seems to have it going on. Maybe I need them, but maybe there's something, and here's what I would say, don't play small, because you have value and you have certainty and you have a geniusness about you that's much bigger than your stem cell product. And that is going to be the impact that you leave on this earth, not how many products you sell or even how great this, I mean, I market text message marketing, and it is so not what I sell. I sell connection. I sell relationships, and I don't even sell. I mean, we don't even use that word. I create connections. And I actually felt you were so close. If you would have just let the product go, you and I would have connected. And that would have been, you would have not only, you would have blessed my day, not just talk to me about a product, but you would have actually had impact on my life. And so I would just say, you've already got that tone of voice. You've got that heart. Is be okay with letting the calendar go, letting the product go, and keeping the connection, versus I would just say, I don't need that, but actually that person probably needs you.
Yeah. And Suzanne, for fun, Alan, for fun, Alan, would you be willing to come back on as a participant at some point?
Yeah, if we can work out the calendar. We go back to the calendar again.
And Suzanne, would you be willing to be the judge when Alan is on that day?
Totally fair. Totally fair. Yeah.
We're just having, guys, listen, we're having fun. Thank you.
That's okay. That's right.
Right. That matters, because we have my wellness center has been here for 9 years. And so during this COVID, all the things that you were mentioning, Stacy, that's what this center is. It is a center of love, and people come. What I sell is ancillary to my relationships. That is so. And they come in here because they say, we're so glad to have a place to come in, to take off the mask, see a smile, and get a hug.
That's awesome.
That's the only.
And let me just say, Suzanne, this is not an easy format, right? What you said is, I do these things. I do the choice to do it. It's very common in role playing that you don't do what you do normally because it doesn't feel natural. Because you know that Stacy is not a real customer. You don't have a personal relationship. You don't know the history, right? So it's not going to be the real world. It's going to be an imitation of the real world. So I totally get it. And I apologize if it came across the wrong way, but if you do those things in real life, that's great. If you do them. I've never been a big fan of role playing only because of that. I would much rather listen in on like when I was vice president of sales at a company, I would much rather listen in on my reps with their real customers, because it's the real world, it's the real relationship, and then give them feedback on that. So this is a tough format for that, just in general. So again, doing all those things, my whole thing is, I love to teach because it keeps me honest in doing the things I'm supposed to do, because if I can teach someone else to do it, I'm going to do it. Because otherwise we forget. You said you've been doing it for 50 years. So I've been doing it maybe for 40 years. We have to go back to the basics. We always do. That's why I love writing books, because it gets me back to the basics and reminding those things. So I do have to go though. We're like 20 minutes past. So
awesome.
Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Thank you.
beautiful and amazing day. Thank you.